How's it going? Welcome back to another great video with the majestic host, the Savior. Oh yes. And today I'm very excited because finally we get another masterpiece ported over to the Switch. The Nintendo Switch at this point has just become a porting device, but I do think that the Switch is kind of in trouble now because everyone is saying that we need a Nintendo Switch 2, and I couldn't agree more because it is showing its age at this point. Also now we have the OLED on the Steam Deck, but not everyone can afford a Steam Deck or these other handheld gaming devices that are now just dominating the market, like the PS5 handheld and all that kind of stuff. I mean, pretty much the Apple iPhone 15 can play games now, real games, which is pretty insane. But but you have to remember that Steve Jobs, okay, when he wakes up in the morning with a nice cup of joe, a nice cup of coffee, okay, nothing gets him more excited, nothing gets him more wooden than that big bag of cobalt, okay? He just can't get enough.
They all agreed, which will then go to a tablet device, making a product that is part human and part centipede and part web browser and part emailing device.
So now we have plenty of options with handheld gaming. We are literally living in the time of the future where we all carry supercomputers around in our phone, and we will slowly integrate to a symbiotic relationship, which I am completely against. Let's not have a Cyberpunk 2077 reality on our hands, shall we? But as a gamer, it is the perfect time to be alive because, oh yes, we have unlimited choices, but nothing beats the Nintendo Switch because you cannot get exclusive Nintendo quality games on anything else like Legend of Zelda or Mario or anything like that. But I have absolutely enjoyed my time with my Nintendo Switch OLED because playing older games like Batman, the Arkham series, or BioShock, or what have you, there are so many great older games, back when games were better, dare I say, but the Nintendo Switch handles it just like a champ, because it's pretty much a portable PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 at this point. So now we have Arkham City, Arkham Knight, and the original Batman Arkham.
I'm Batman.
I'm the Joker, baby.
So today I'm going to be giving you my Batman Arkham Trilogy Switch review. Okay, this is the Batman Arkham Trilogy on Nintendo Switch, my review. And yes, bear in mind, this is not the review of, the actual Switch version, because obviously it's not out. But I have done my extensive research and talked to many different sources, basically to find out what exactly this port brings, what you can expect. And I have actually seen hands-on gameplay of the Switch, so I know actually how it runs and all that jazz. So let's get into the details. And for the people who haven't played Arkham before, I am going to give you a quick review of the actual games as well. So I do hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, make sure that you give this video a like. That does help the algorithm, which I am a slave to sadly. And consider subscribing, become a wise boy today, and join this fantastic community. It takes 2 seconds for you guys, but it means so much to me. I work so hard on my videos, and I'm really passionate about the community we're building here. If you like gaming content, if you like philosophical videos or video essays on games or just media and life in general, then you've come to the right place. So be a wise boy and subscribe. So first, let's talk about Batman Arkham Switch Edition, and then we will talk about the game itself. Because I think a lot of people are concerned about Batman Arkham being on Nintendo Switch because of the fact that it wasn't exactly a polished experience on release, especially for PC, but on Nintendo Switch, from what I've seen, okay, it runs at a steady 30 FPS, okay? It doesn't really dip, only when you're kind of in the main city area. When you're in closed off areas, it doesn't really dip whatsoever. And I know the big issue is graphics with everyone, because everyone cares about graphics. Actually, art style is more important, let's be honest, okay? We need to stop this focus and hype around photorealistic graphics. And luckily, Arkham has some great visuals. But I do think a big positive of the Arkham series and the Arkham Trilogy on Nintendo Switch is the fact that this is a very dark game, okay? Just like games like Cyberpunk, even if you're playing on a low-end PC or something, it can still look pretty goddamn good, especially with Arkham, because these games are very heavily focused on dark environments, okay? They are all about shadows. It is a very dark game, which actually, again, like BioShock on the Switch, it basically means that you can't really tell the difference massively. Of course, there is a difference, but you can't really tell the difference, especially in handheld mode when it's on a tiny screen and the resolution isn't all that bad. You know, that the graphics are completely different compared to the Xbox 360 or the PS4 or anything like that. Of course, comparing the game to the PC at its highest graphics, that's just stupid, okay? A wise man once said that comparison is the thief of joy, so don't bother with that shit, okay? It looks good, okay? That's the point. It doesn't really matter that my PC hard drive is so big I can slap it down on the table compared to your tiny little SSD hard drive or CPU, okay? That doesn't... Can we get over that, please? That's just stupid. It looks good, especially considering that it's being ported to the Switch, but it hasn't gone the Hogwarts Legacy route, where, you know, they literally had to redesign some of the aspects of the gameplay, like adding extra loading screens and, you know, changing literally how the game actually works to some degree. This actually is a complete port, and that is because it's an older game, but they've done a really good job of it, I would say. The only thing that you will notice is there is a lot more jaggies. It's not as crystal clear image-wise because of the anti-aliasing used on the Nintendo Switch, and especially when you blow it up. You know, never play Switch games on a massive TV. That's just a recipe for disaster. But I do think this looks good, and the FPS holds, and that's the most important, even with the later games. But of course, playing the first game, okay, this is such a great experience because it's pretty much one-to-one. And I really loved Arkham 1 because it was different compared to other games. It was back in the time when kind of the darker aspects in gaming were being highlighted more, and developers were, you know, taking more risks with gameplay mechanics and stuff like that, and the first game really shows it, I think. Arkham City was a step up because it wasn't a complete open world game, but it was, you know, open area. With every Batman game, it just evolved the franchise, which I really liked. You know, with Batman Arkham City, it got bigger, but it wasn't completely open world, and then the final game was completely open world. But these are prime examples of good open world games, back when we weren't getting, you know, this kind of checklist design, this kind of collectathon BS, or clearing out endless camps, just clearing out a map. You know, having the player being told exactly what to do 24/7. The only real issues I ever had with the Batman Arkham series was the fact that the combat was just ridiculously easy. You can play Batman Arkham one-handed. That's the only issue I really have with it, which is the combat. But story-wise, okay, this was so good, especially with the later games where you're dealing more with the psychology of Batman. And also you get to deal with his savior complex. Again, it's kind of ironic coming from someone called the Savior, but, you know, they did a great job with the story, the writing, and the world just felt realized, okay, compared to the newer games, compared to the newer Batman game we got, Gotham Knights or whatever it was called. It's just so crazy when you look at older games compared to newer games. I'm not saying that modern day gaming is all bad. Of course, we get way more choice now, and we do get some great bangers, but definitely the standards have dropped when you compare older games to, you know, the AAA standard now. And that is a real shame because just developers aren't being creative anymore. And, you know, it's scientifically proven, studies have shown that creativity is on the downward decline, and we can thank, you know, social media brainwashing for that, like TikTok and all that stuff, because creativity is definitely on the decline, and we can see it in our media. Just look at pretty much every show, which is either a remake or a rehash or a goddamn race swap. Nothing wrong with that, of course. Calm down, but it does show a lack of creativity. So Batman Arkham Trilogy on Nintendo Switch, is it worth it? Is Batman Arkham Trilogy worth it on Switch, or should you just give it a hard pass? Well, if you've never played the games and you've got a Nintendo Switch and you want to play portably, I think this is pretty much the best way that you can do that, because you're not really, you know, missing out on anything. You're getting all of the DLC, you're getting all of the add-ons, the bonus, you know, kind of challenges and skins and all that kind of stuff. And you're not really getting major downsides with the graphics, like I said, because you can't really see that much of a difference, especially because it's a very dark game, which helps it a lot. The atmosphere is still very much intact. The audio design, from what I've seen, looks intact, and I can't speak on everything, of course, but I have had access to see the gameplay, and from what I've seen, it looks really good, and pretty much the FPS is stable. So I don't think you're really missing out on anything, and it is worth buying. And as to my review of the Batman Arkham Trilogy as it stands, because I have played all of the games previously, I do think that these are some great quality games. you know, it has mature writing, the detective gameplay actually feels fun and engaging. You know, it is a little bit hand-holdy at times with the combat, and some of the later gameplay stuff with the second game and the third game are a little bit more hand-holdy, but it's still a prime example of when open world games were good. And I just love the more philosophical and psychological aspects of the later games when Batman does have to kind of wrestle with his demons. That to me is what the Batman Arkham series is about. You know, it took the kind of Dark Knight, you know, this kind of edgy Batman that we got for this kind of new generation, and made the perfect game franchise from it. You know, it's completely different compared to the campy Batman older game. It's completely different. It's a completely different style, of course, to the campy Batman that we used to get, and it's not as bleak as the modern doomer Batman, but I still very much enjoy it. It is interesting to see this kind of battle with the ego and the kind of personas that we all put on in our daily lives when we're trying to put forwards our preferred personality traits, the kind of mask that we create, and how that kind of eats Batman alive, especially with the later games and with Joker and all that kind of stuff. It's just some brilliant writing, and I think you will enjoy it. And in the end, it's not about thinking about doing something good, it's about your actions with anything in life, okay? So I really do think that the Batman games were very well done, the writing was top notch, and you can't really go wrong, especially if you are a massive Batman fan. And of course you get Catwoman before they, you know, completely destroyed the idea of what is a female in any type of media. You get some nice quality Catwoman here, so that's also a big bonus. So that is my Batman Arkham Trilogy Switch review, my Batman Arkham Trilogy game review. I do hope you enjoyed this one. I do hope that you do pick it up, because you don't really want to miss out on it, trust me. And if you have played the games before and you have a Nintendo Switch, maybe wait for a sale, because I do feel it is a little bit cheeky nowadays, the modern day gaming industry basically asking you to shill out basically full price for older games. But this is worth having on the go, I think, but just wait for a sale. Oh yes, so that's pretty much it. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you are new, like I said, do subscribe, it means so much to me. We're getting close to 10K. And I just put everything I have into this video, and I put everything I have into this channel. And if you like the deeper video essay style content, there is that on this channel. But if you just like game reviews, I've also got that on this channel. I do both things, so do subscribe and support me by checking out my music on Spotify. I actually make and produce electronic cyberpunk music. Go check it out. I'll leave a link in the comments. And if you do want to support me further, as I am still a smaller channel and slowly climbing the ranks, then perhaps become a member and you will get access to a full playlist of extra videos and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.